Thank you, Vilros, for sending us the item to check out, and we're looking at the basic starter kit for the Raspberry Pi 4 Model B, which come with this neoprene storage case. We have a mini HDMI to full HDMI adapter. We have some, heat sinks here. Then we have the clear case with fan. Some instructions there. As you can see, the clear case has the fan here and where you connect it. Then the USB-C compatible power supply with on and off switch. You plug it in, off and off switch. USB-C power supply. It is 5.1 volts, with 3 amps. So it's about just a little over 15 watts, I believe, if I'm doing the math correctly. Then we have the Raspberry Pi 4, which has 1 GB of RAM. It's a tough one. Just did not want to open. Or does it open differently? I think it opens from the front here. Yeah, it says open here. That's why I didn't want to open. Here you can see the Raspberry Pi 4. Then here we have the SD card slot, micro SD card. Then USB-C, micro HDMI, and I think this might be like for the audio. Then we have 2 USB-A 2.0. I can tell usually by the black color is usually 2.0. And then we have the blue color, so it has to be at least 3.0 USB-A connections or above. And then we have the gigabit connection for the Ethernet. Then the clear case. Inside the case, we have these 2 little screws, but these say here on the label that they should only be used for the camera module only. Do not use it to install the Pi in the case. So we're going to set this in the bag. I'm not going to need this. And I guess these are for the feet. Okay, so we have the bottom here, and then we have the top. Like this. Make sure that the SD card is removed from the Raspberry Pi before installing the Raspberry Pi into the case. Let's remind us again that the screws in the case are not used. So we got conflicting information here. It says connect the black cable to pin number 14 and the red cable to number 2 or number 1. But the thing is, the black and the red are connected. So here on the card, it says connect the red part of it to the pin 4 and the black cable to pin number 6. So it would be right here, these 2. Pin number 4, it'll be these 2. But it also has a blue one here. And it says connect, this one, the card. The card says connect, if you want to configure the fan via the Raspberry Pi operating system, connect the blue cable to pin number 8. Or the GPIO 14, which would be number 8 here. So right next to each other. Red is on 2, and red is on 4, and the black is on 6. So remember to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 and 6. And if you're going to connect the Raspberry Pi operating system, you're going to connect the blue wire to number 6. So it looks like this. Then you're going to line the top part of the case to the bottom. Carefully. Okay, and everything is snapped into place. And it's as simple as that. Though, it kind of skipped the part of using the heat sinks and where to connect them. So judging by the size of the heat sinks, I believe they go like this, because this one matches about the same size as that one, and this long one fits here, and this one fits here, as you can see, and this one's just a little bit bigger, but it fits here. It doesn't seem to fit on this one in particular. It looks very small. So that's going to be my guess, that these are where the heat sinks will go. So you're going to remove the adhesive on the back, or you're going to remove the cover of the adhesive, so you can expose that adhesive. Press down on it. Okay, let's just close this back up again. Make sure nothing gets caught in there before we close it. Alright, it's closed. Let's attach the feet. And the last foot. All the feet are installed, so kind of keeps it from moving here. This will be the slot where you put in the SD card for your operating system. You'll plug in the power here. You can use the Raspberry Pi 4 for many different things, and it's just basically a mini PC. But my main focus will be to use it as a retro gaming system. And they make different cases that give it a retro feel of gaming cases you could use, but you don't have to use those kind of cases. It's just more about the operating system that's inside of them. So if you want the aesthetics of a retro gaming system, you can do that. But it can also fit, and there's certain cases where you can get a big display. So I'm trying to decide, do I want to get a retro gaming case so I can hook it up to a TV, or do I just buy like a 7-inch screen and install this in there and just do something like that and have the screen with me as a somewhat portable because you're always going to need to be connected to power. Unlike the other one, Raspberry Pi 2W, it was more portable. You didn't need to have it plugged in. You can use a special battery for it to run, but mainly this one will always need to be plugged in. But it's definitely more powerful. It's going to be able to run like the 32-bit systems, like the PlayStation 1, the Dreamcast, and Sega Saturn, and I think most of the PSP. But it can also run most of the Nintendo 64 systems. But you will probably need to overclock it, and most likely need to buy the version where it's 4 gigabytes of RAM. But 2 gigabytes should be enough. But if you just have the 1 gigabyte version, might be best just to stick with like the early 8-bit, 16-bit games. You should have no issue with those. But you can try the other system, but they just probably won't run as smooth if you're trying to run a lot on this. So I'm definitely going to try to experiment on what it can do on the 1 gigabyte in a different video. But right now I was just going to show you what was included, unboxing, and how to put it together to install it. And it's as simple as that. And this has been Father McFoss. I hope you found this video helpful, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.